Howdy peeps, and welcome back to the channel for what is another kit review of what I believe is a 2018 release anyway. If not, it was very late 2017. That is the ICM kits 1/32 scale I-153 Chaika World War II Soviet fighter. Firstly, no, Sharpie hasn't gone mad. He is building a biplane, but I won't be putting rigging on it. Don't worry about that. And it's a kind of cute, cool looking biplane, unlike most of the other ones, which to me I don't like the aesthetic. It's not to say they weren't amazing planes for the time. I just don't like the look. It's as simple as that. Anyway, for those new to 132 or maybe thinking of going up a scale, this and the little I-16 Polycarpov that ICM do would be really good kits to start at 132. They're not overly complex, they go together pretty well, and they're not big, let's be honest. They're tiny little planes. And when you see the size of the fuselage, you'll go, oh yeah. So, without further ado, let's crack the box on this puppy. We have, top lid comes off, and inside we have what I call a Zvezda style box with the top opening flap, so it keeps everything nice and safe. Now everything is already out of the box, or out of the bags, etc., because I did something very stupid a minute ago. I filmed this review and I was going to do another film, and I looked up and it said 6 minutes left on the memory card. So I thought, well, okay, I'll go and delete some of the old movies that I've shot, things that are already uploaded to the PC. Selected one where I'd shot like 3 movies and 3 videos in the same day. Delete all scenes, and it deleted everything off the entire camera. So I'm going to have to shoot this again. I'm going to have to shoot the I did a video on doing candy paints. I'm going to have to redo all that, repaint the plane, and then yeah, I think I did one of the Skyline build videos as well. Never mind, let's get on with this one, shall we? Again. So, first sprue, we have our fuselage halves, our lower wings, cockpit, upper cowl, left and right cowl, the gear bay doors, as it were, wheels, prop, wing stabilizers, instrument panel. This was a mainly wooden construction aircraft, so you won't find panel lines all over it. There are up the front end where obviously it had to be a bit stronger to support the weight of the engine and the pilot and stuff. So you've got some nice, crisp, clean panel lines and rivet detail around the front and in the centre section of the wings. But the rest of it, we just got the stretched fabric effect, which does look really quite nice. It's not overly done, it's not too subtle, and it's a very nice looking sprue. We've got no flash on there. Instrument panel looks quite cool. As per the decals, you'll see when I pop those out, there is a decal for the instrument panel, but it's every single dial is a separate decal, so that could either be really interesting and tricky and awkward and you swear at it and you end up painting some random detailing, or work really well. On the flip side, as we can see, there's not a huge amount of detail on the inside the fuselage, but I don't think there probably was. This does have a cage cockpit kind of affair, a tubular construction, let's go with that one. And ejector pins, nothing in nasty places, so no flash. Looks a very nice sprue overall. I'm just going to dump these in my lap as I go, and then I can pop them back in the box when I'm done. So the second sprue, let's start looking at this side. This is the upper wings, the control surfaces and the main parts of the engine. As we can see, again no flash, ejector pin marks aren't going to be a problem, they're all in sensible places and hidden up. And on the front side of the sprue we can see again we've got more of the same stretched fabric detail, the locating marks for the or locating points for the wing pylons, as it were, the ones that, little struts, sorry, that join the wings together. Same level of detail with the panel lines and rivets in the centre. The exhaust halves, you can tell I've already done this once. The engine halves do look really quite nice, clean, crisply moulded, really nice fins. But as you'll see when we get to the instructions, you're not going to be able to see virtually any of it. All you're going to be able to see is through these little holes here. So yeah, just basic paint job and wash and job done. But again, second sprue, all looking good. The third and final sprue is all the greebly little bits. So various cockpit details, rocket rails, greeblies, bombs, rockets, missiles, whatever they are. More parts for the engine, which again will basically not be visible. There is quite a pronounced seam line on the fuel pipes or ignition lines, whichever they were. Easy enough to clean up, but a little bit annoying. Main undercarriage doesn't appear to have the same problem. They're a lot cleaner, which is good. And we get down to here, we have our exhausts and the framing for the cockpit, which as you can see is very fine and delicate, and it's going to take a bit of care to get together. A few more greebly bits, and then all the various mounts for the bombs or rockets or whatever they were. Oxygen tank. And again, no flash are the supports for the horizontal stabilizers. No flash, everything's clean, crisp. No problems with that sprue either whatsoever. Providing everything fits, it's looking like it should build up into a really nice little plane. Next we get to the clear parts. And yes, I'm going through this even quicker than I went through it last time because I know what I'm looking at now. Being an open cockpit type, we don't really have much in the way of clear parts. We have a windscreen, which is nice and clear. There's a little bit of distortion in it, but no worries. And then we've got 5 little nav lights, landing lights, whatever they were. Again, clear. But as I say, open cockpit, so it's not a huge issue if the screen isn't perfect. It's not like it completely covers the cockpit and then you can't see anything inside of it. Put them back in the bag to protect them anyway. Next we have the decals. Quite sizable but very simple decal sheet. Just red stars and a few numbers. And as I said, the separate instrument panel dial decals, all called number 12, so it's going to be a case of paying close attention to which one goes where. Just looking at, going by that and then copying the layout onto the instrument panel. Overall they look pretty good. So they're in register, there's not a huge amount of carrier film, except for obviously around some of the numbers, the 102 in particular. There is a large piece of carrier film in between the 1, 0 and the 0 and the 2. But other than that, they don't look bad, they're not overly thick. Yeah, they're a bit glossy, but that's not really a problem whether they're glossy or matte, because you're going to be putting whichever kind of finish you want over the top of it anyway. I think it's just the matte ones suck up the setting solutions a bit better and a bit quicker. It's the thing. Onto the instructions, we have a little bit about the plane in English and I'm guessing Russian, although they're a Ukrainian manufacturer. I don't know if there's a difference between Ukrainian and Russian. I can't read either. A few tech specs on the plane, and the Chaika, called the Gull, just purely I guess because of the shape of the top wing. It looks like a seagull's wing. So we open it up, nice clear sprue map, always good to see, but I tend not to use them. It's only if you've got a kit with a lot of sprues, it can help to look at it and go, oh right, I need sprue WA, and you go, right, it's that sprue, and then you can run me through the box to see what it looks like, rather than trying to see the lettering on it. Anyway, so we start out with the assembly of the lower wing section, the seat back, control stick, not joystick, but it might be joystick, the bit the pilot waggles about with his hands to make the plane move around in the air. And we start putting the cockpit together and the framing separately, and then join the two together, which could be tricky, so it might be an idea to put that together, then assemble this onto that using a bit of PVA maybe to just hold the sides in place, and then remove it to make painting a lot easier. Cockpit goes into the lower wing assembly, and the fuselage halves get tightened up with a couple of details, stuck together, plonked onto the wings, and we start putting the various control surfaces together for tail. And once that's all done, hang on, are they separate or together? Oh, I don't know. Yeah, so all that together, then the upper wing goes together along with its ailerons. Rudder goes together, upper wing, wing struts, rudder going on, engine going together, prop going together, everything just gradually getting nailed together for the engine. The exhaust going on. I forgot to say the exhausts aren't moulded hollow, they are moulded open. There's a recess of 1.5 mm or so. Same for the MG ports in the front. Might want to drill them out, might be okay to leave them. As I said with the engine, not much point in doing too much work to it, because as soon as you start putting these cowlings on, you're going to completely lose it. And the way the model is, it probably wouldn't look too good with the cowlings off. So cowlings, air filter, upper cowling, windscreen, gun sight, undercarriage going together and going on, or as I also call it, the stand. It's just because when I build planes, I build them and I build them. The undercarriage is generally on before I start painting, which means I don't have to worry about how I'm going to support the aircraft while I'm painting it, because if you're priming it, you want to prime it all at once. Well, one side is still going to be wet, so if you can just sit it on its landing gear, just start on the underside, spray the wheels first, spray the rest of the underside, flip it over, spray most of the top side, stick it on the bench and spray the bits you missed. By the time you get to that point, the primer on the wheels has dried. Anyway, then the gear bay doors and the tail supports go on, the rest of the gear bay doors and the tail wheel. Our choice of armaments, so we got rockets, little bombs, slightly bigger bombs. Sit back and admire, and then add the antenna aerial and or rigging if you choose. I may do an antenna, or aerial, because it can send and receive. Antennas just receive, yeah, that's it. Then the rigging, which I'm going to, no, forget that. Then we're on to the marking schemes. Fairly basic. what looks to be bare metal with green squiggles on it, and red, I think 4 red stars and 2 numbers. Then we have all natural metal with a little bit of red, a couple of, you know, there's not a huge amount to any of these, to be honest. And the box art one with the 102 two-tone camo and blue on the underside. So there we go. ICM's 132 I-153 Chaika. Looks a nice kit, fairly simple. A pretty decent price. Can't really remember what I paid for it. I pretty much got it to bump up the value of the order, because I was buying paint and therefore I needed to have courier delivery, so make it worthwhile paying for courier, order a kit at the same time. So hope you like the video. Short and sweet this one, but as I say, this is my second time filming it, and the second time you do a review it's going to be shorter. So if you did like, hit like, leave us a comment, subscribe, enjoy whatevs. Anyway, enjoy your modelling, have fun, peace out, rock on, and bye bye.